60 words per minute, entitled Personality. This is a passage at 60 words a minute called Personality. But before you switch off, because 60 is perhaps too slow for you, let me tell you two things. First of all, it will be repeated at the end at double speed, so at 120 words per minute. You can just skip to that if you wish. But secondly, this isn't a standard NCTJ type 60 because it will be more difficult than that. This is because the syllabic count is much higher than you would have in an NCTJ exam. In other words, it contains longer words. Also, the style of writing is more difficult. For example, there are 2 lists in the very first sentence. So it's a good one to try if you feel comfortable at 60, but you're not quite yet at the 80. Because if you can do this, being a little bit more difficult, then it's going towards an 80 words a minute standard. However, there are a large number of common words, as there will be, of course, in all speech and dictation. And I would like you to ensure that you have used the word groupings for these common words, because you will come across them over and over again. And if you write common words such as of and the separately, then it's going to be far, far more difficult for you to climb the speed ladder. In addition, I have one theory point only. It's in the title, Personality. It ends with litty, L-I-T-Y, and this word ending can be represented by a disjoined L written in an upwards direction. Of course, if this litty is preceded by a vowel B, in other words, ability or ability, then we tend to use the full vowel disjoined, as shown here in capability and flexibility. But when the B is not present, we just use the disjoined L written upwards. So in words like quality, reality, informality, note there I've used the FM blend for form, and agility. I felt there was one grey area, and that was in the word stability. The B is there, so we could just write ST and then the disjoined A for ability. Would we be able to read that back, or would we think it is a word like stable? And although you probably would read it back in context, I think because it's so short, it may be a little more tricky. And so therefore, I've written down here the 2 options. Both versions are correct, so you choose which one you prefer or which one comes to your mind first. Now for those common words. Check that you have used them or drill them before the passage. There is no doubt that. Part of the. Parts of our. We are. We are able to. Before we are able to. You could break that down. So before we are, before we are able to. We can, we have, in our, for that reason. Here we double the second T of that to add the R of reason. That there is, this is, in addition. Now you can join or disjoin the shun as you get more confident and you climb that speed ladder. Sometimes you feel confident enough to join the shun in that one. It is the, with them, to have. So you see there's a whole minute of dictation in common words alone. See how important they are. Then if you add to that the additional special outlines, such as companies, particularly, important, different, improve and improvement, we're getting towards 80 words that are either simple, common word groupings or special outlines. So over a minute and a half. Please practice them and please make sure that you've used them all, and then decide which dictation you are going to do. Or if you do the dictation first, please remember to come back and check them. Ready. Values, likes and dislikes can explain our overall personality, behaviours and thoughts. There is no doubt that personality can affect many parts of our lives. The way we are seen by others and the way we communicate with them depends on certain hidden traits in our character. For that reason, some companies conduct a personality test as part of the interview process. This is particularly important if a candidate needs to fit into a team environment. In addition, individuals might take a personality test to gain a better understanding of themselves. There are many different tests online. It is good to be self-aware, because if we understand how our actions affect others, we are able to build stronger relationships. Ready? Always be open to quality feedback and consider it carefully. In reality, before we are able to improve, we need to accept that there is scope to do so. And the first step to improvement is to know how others see us. Self-awareness seems to have become a management buzzword, and for good reason. It is the most crucial informality associated with workplace emotional intelligence. Research suggests that when we see ourselves clearly, we have more confidence and agility. We are also more likely to make better decisions and communicate more effectively. We build those stronger relationships. We have greater stability. We understand our moods, emotions, and needs, and we can perceive and anticipate how our actions may affect others. (120 for 1 minute). Ready? Values, likes and dislikes can explain our overall personality, behaviours and thoughts. There is no doubt that personality can affect many parts of our lives. The way we are seen by others and the way we communicate with them depends on certain hidden traits in our character. For that reason, some companies conduct a personality test as part of the interview process. This is particularly important if a candidate needs to fit into a team environment. In addition, individuals might take a personality test to gain a better understanding of themselves. There are many different tests online. It is good to be self-aware, because if we understand how our actions affect others, we are able to build stronger relationships. If you enjoyed this exam practice, please click like and remember to subscribe so that you will receive notifications when others are added. Good job! Let's love T-line together.